Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley, and we're going to be talking about True Detective Night Country, Season 4, Episode 4. So let's get into it. The episode starts off with Liz in the bed, tossing and turning at 3:29 a.m., which is the witching hour. I don't think that's a coincidence. She can't get to sleep, so she decides to look at the Annie video again on her phone. She keeps playing the video again and stopping it, then playing it again, just trying to get any kind of clue. The video must have triggered her or something because she decides to get up to check on Leah. She goes to her room, covers her up, makes sure she's not cold or anything, and even though they're at odds most of the time, Liz really does care about Leah. I think she's scared for her for how Annie died. She doesn't want that to happen to her, and that's probably why as she's leaving Leah's room, she hears Annie's screams from that video. We get to December 24th, the 7th day of night, where Liz is driving down the street and she sees Julia, Navaro's sister, and she's walking and taking off her clothes at the same time in the freezing cold, and it looks like it's snowing. So girl, why you want to go and do that for? Liz is on the phone with Peter at the same time she's seeing her walk down the street getting naked. She told him, call Navaro right now. Call her up. So Liz gets out the car and she tries to give Julia a jacket, but in the process, Julia ends up hitting her right in the face. Liz does end up calming her down. We do end up seeing a few times in this episode that Liz does have a heart and she's not as hard as she puts on sometimes. Then in the next scene, Navaro and her sister are talking and Liz is eavesdropping. Then when that conversation is done, Julia comes out. She apologizes to Liz. Navaro thanks Liz for taking care of her sister. Liz tells Navaro that they're taking the bodies out of the ice rink and that Colony is in town. Navaro is worried that he's here to take them off the case, but Liz tells her don't worry, he's not about to do that. Then Navaro tells her that they have to talk about that Annie video, and then she leaves to go be with her sister. We get this quick shot of Peter watching them take the scientist off the ice, and he looks suspicious. He's thinking hard about something, and I wonder what it is. They had to have put that in there for a reason, having us watch him take those bodies away. Then we see Navaro and her sister in the car. Nothing really happens in this scene. They just hold hands. I think they were just letting us know that this is it. This is one of the last and final scenes with them. Then we get to the office with Liz and Peter, and he lets her know that he's gone through some medical records and he was able to find people with similar injuries to the Salaman. She said, good. Get to it. Then Liz and Colony are talking and she's like, why are you here for a routine body takeaway? Taking away the bodies is routine, so why are you here for this? He's like, relax, I'm not here to take the case away from you, but the reason why I'm here is because you have protests around the mine. You had a shooting that ended in a fight in the hospital. You got 6 dead bodies in the local ice rink, and you still have a missing person of interest. Get this under control. But before he walks out, Liz lets him know that the scientists died before they froze. He said, now how did you know that when we haven't even done forensics yet? No, you know what? As a matter of fact, don't even tell me. I don't want to know that. We cut to Navaro checking her sister in at the lighthouse, the mental facility, and Navaro is telling her that this isn't going to be like the other places. I promise. You can keep your phone so you can call me. I'll be here tomorrow for Christmas and I'm going to bring presents. Virgin eggnog and $20 cookies. Now what cookies are $20? Because I be eating on Chips Ahoy, the blue bag, and that's not $20. If it's some Christmas cookies, I'm getting the ones out of the frozen food section. I don't know, they're about $5.99 at Target. I'm trying to see what cookies Navaro walking up in the place with. But when I saw this shot of Julia walking away and Navaro watching her walk away, I said, uh-oh. Something about to happen. And it sure did. Peter finds Otis Heist, and his file says that he was admitted to St. Joseph's in April of 1998, and he had similar injuries to the scientist. He had burns on both of his corneas, ruptured eardrums, and self-inflicted bites. He's unemployed, no records of bank accounts or credit cards. His Social Security has been inactive since November 2006, and he has no registered address for the past 8 years. No wife, no kids, but he does have a long history of disorderly conduct, breaking and entering, petty theft, and he's been in and out of rehab for a long time. Possession, and he was picked up by a trooper 2 months ago, and no one's seen him since. He became a junkie after the accident, but no one knows what caused the accident or what the accident was. It's not down on record. So Liz tells Peter to get everyone out there looking for him everywhere. Navaro calls Liz to tell her that there's no ice caves around where Annie's body was found. Liz says that means she was killed in one place, then taken to another to send a message. Liz asks about her sister. Navaro tells her that she's at the lighthouse and that she's waiting outside. She doesn't want to go home. Really, she probably should have waited out there a little bit longer because then maybe something could have been prevented. But then again, that was Julia's fate. Hank got stood up by his catfish. He was standing outside in the snow with his jacket on and that bunny, but she never showed up, had him standing there looking stupid. And you can tell that they were trying to make us feel bad for him with that close-up. They thought they ate with that close-up, but I don't care. Navaro and Liz were talking in the car about how Julia always prays. Then Liz shares a story about when she was a little girl and her mom was sick, so her dad told her to pray. So Liz prayed every day, all day, until her knees turned black, but her mom still died anyway. So ever since then, she hasn't been religious and doesn't believe in God. Navaro jokes with her and says, maybe you didn't pray hard enough, and they both laugh. We get to Bryce's house where Liz makes Navaro knock on the door because she knows that if she knocks on the door, Bryce's wife wouldn't answer it because Liz used to sleep with her husband. But she does let them in, and when she does, they show Bryce the video of Annie. And he confirms that at the end of the video that those are whale bones. He said he can get them a map to the cave, but getting there is a death trap. He told them it was shut down because there were so many accidents there and that getting there is dangerous and that you'll need a guide to get there, but since it's the holidays, it'll be impossible to get a guide. So since that can't happen, Bryce was able to track down who made the map system to the cave, and it came back that it was Otis Heist, that guy that we were talking about earlier, who has some of the same injuries as the scientist. Julia is sitting on her bed, then all of a sudden, an orange rolls out. She looks under the bed, and it's her dead mother, laying there with that same cross that we saw before. Laying over there looking like the Grudge. Oh no, you don't gotta do all of that to let me know I'm about to die. Just take me. Don't be doing the most before I go. I don't want to go through that. Peter asked his dad where his catfish at, and Hank tells him that she didn't show up, and he thinks it's because her mom's been sick, so that's probably why she didn't come. Peter know his daddy lying. You can tell by the way he's looking at him. Then he tells him, you didn't give her any money, did you? And Hank just ignores the question because he has. Instead, he changes the conversation to, I'm coming over tonight for Christmas. Navaro goes over Rose's house, and when Rose opens the door, she got on a red silky dress. Where you going, girl? In the kitchen? Rose made a whole bunch of food for just her and Navaro. It's a whole feast. They start talking about Rose's past and who she was before, about how Rose isn't her real name. She said that she was a very serious professor in a very serious school and had very serious ideas, but then one day she got tired of it. She says being here is quieter than where she was before, except for all the dead. So she's saying that the dead is loud. Liz gets a call from Kate telling her to come down to the mines because her daughter wrote murderers on it. Kate wants to press charges, but Liz is like, no, you're not going to do that. Please. It's the holidays. Don't press charges. I'll have someone come clean this up before they come back to work. So after she said please, Kate walks away. But I don't think this is going to be the end of it. I think Kate is going to come back for the both of them. Navaro is talking to her sister, telling her she's going to see her tomorrow. And they both say, I love you. But we can see that Julia is not in her room. She's outside in the snow. We see her take off her clothes and fold them neatly, just like the scientists did when they were found outside in the snow. After she takes off her clothes, she just starts walking outside in the dark. And I think this has something to do with her seeing her mom under her bed in that orange. But she was taking off her clothes earlier when Liz found her, so maybe she saw something right before that too. I don't know if this is important or of some significance, but Annie at one point had blue hair, then she died, then Julia had blue hair, and now she's dead. Leah is mad, so she's packing up her things and leaving. She getting out of there. I guess she's mad at Liz about that whole mines thing, but you're the one who graffitied it. Anyway, she's going over to Peter's house to be over there with Peter's girlfriend. I forgot her name. Navaro gets to her front door and there's a gift. It has to be from Kavik because it's SpongeBob toothpaste, and he's trying to be funny because at that time, She went over his house and started using his toothbrush. Liz is playing back Clark's video and she's playing Annie's video. She notices a similarity in both videos, that the lights go out. So she calls up Navaro and tells her this. But the question is, how could there be power and electricity inside of an ice cave? Liz thinks of Oliver since he was in charge of the equipment. She's like, come on Navaro, we going over there right now. But Navaro's like, I'm not going nowhere with you. You're not driving because you are drunk. And you are in no condition to be working right now. Liz is like, I'm not that drunk. I can do it. Navaro's like, no, I'm not going nowhere with you. So Liz makes Peter go with the Navaro, even though it's Christmas. She don't care. Peter thought he was headed home to his family, but nah. Liz said, no, you not. You going over there with Navaro to pull up on Oliver. Peter and Navaro get to Oliver's house and they just walk inside. They just go in there. They see that he's left his gun and clothes behind, and they find a spiral on the floor, and then they find a stone with the spiral on it too. They go outside where people are waiting for them to come out. They're like, how you just gonna walk up in there like that? They ask them what this spiral means, and then the dogs start growling. They didn't like that. The dogs know something. We find out that Oliver left the day after Liz and Navaro was there. So he was scared. He got up out of there. He left his clothes, his gun, everything. He got up out of there. Liz goes over to Colony's house to try to get it in one more time, but they don't even hook up. The mood dies when she finds out that he sent her to Ennis because he knew that she was a better officer than he was. And it's just that she's bad with people, and that her people skills got worse once Holden and Jake died, her son and her husband. So she got up out of there. Peter drops Navaro off at her house, and as she's getting out the car, she gets a phone call that her sister has died. She's nonchalant in front of Peter. She's acting like the call was nothing, and she just tells him to go home to his family. Peter gets home. He's looking at the Christmas tree, realizing that he missed everything. He gets in the bed and he apologizes to his wife, but she don't want to hear it. He tells her, just admit that you think I ruined your life and you didn't even want to have a baby. Mic drop. We see Navaro driving fast in this rage, and she goes to the lighthouse, and as she's driving there, she sees this group of guys, and one of the men is the man that she arrested before in like episode 1. She gets to the lighthouse and she's yelling at this guy. She's like, how could you let her leave? You didn't even know she was gone. And she starts throwing everything around. He's trying to tell her that it's voluntary and that she could leave if she wanted to. But the thing is, you didn't even know she was gone. How you sitting there, don't see nobody walk out? She gets back in the car and she goes back to that same group of guys that she just saw, and she starts a fight. I know she's mad about her sister. That's why she started this fight in the first place. But could she end up getting fired for this? Just getting out the car, starting the fight. We didn't see these group of guys after this fight happened. Of course, we saw Navaro, but we don't know what happened to those guys. Where did they go? Could Navaro have killed them? I've been thinking for a long time now that Navaro could be the killer, or she could be a part of this some way and she don't even know it's something. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Then we see Liz driving and she sees this polar bear with one eye, and it makes her crash into the snow. The polar bear just walks up to the car and looks at her, then walks away. Now, what was all that for? Either do something or leave me alone. Over here blowing your hot breath on my window. Navaro goes over Kavik's house and we find out that she's missing a tooth. Her tooth got knocked out. Her fingers are all disjointed. They're out of socket or something, and he ends up putting them back in place. She starts talking about how she's alone and how he's alone. He's trying to tell her that she's not alone. But the girl is messed up, okay? She needs some help. Get her a hot towel, put it on her face, run her a bath, a hot one. Get her some icy hot aspirin. Good God, fix her ponytail. It's now December 25th, the 8th day of night, and Liz is having a dream about her son Holden. And also in this dream, she's dreaming of a graveyard. And I'm guessing that this is the same graveyard that her son and husband are buried in. But then she gets woken up by Navaro, who's at her front door, and Navaro lets her know what happened at Oliver's house. Liz ends up dropping a box, and inside of that box was the polar bear. When Navaro picks it up, she starts thinking about that dream she had with this same polar bear and that little boy putting his hand on her shoulder saying, tell my mommy. Liz looks at her because she knows that Navaro is over there looking weird, and she says, stop with all that weird stuff. She's all like, we're here, dead people are dead, there's no such thing as heaven or hell or ghosts. Navaro says, says, if that's true, then why do you still have this bear? That's when Liz grabs it and throws it outside, but she knows she frontin'. She gonna go back out there and get that bear later. After that is when Navaro tells her that her sister killed herself, and we find out she walked into the water and drowned. Navaro says that they're gonna bring home her dead body tomorrow. Now I'm wondering what this dead body is gonna look like. Is it gonna look like the dead body that we see towards the end of this video, or is it gonna end up looking different? She starts talking about how it's coming for her just like it came for her mom and her sister, and now it's coming for her. She tells Liz she's calling. Who calling, girl? So that's when Liz brings up what happened at Wheeler's house. She's like, I know you saw something there, but you won't tell me. So then we go to this flashback at the house, and we see this woman with no eyeballs, just white, with her mouth open, pointing at Navaro. And I'm thinking that this dead woman is telling Navaro that she's next. Maybe something like Rose told Navaro earlier on how the dead comes for you, so maybe this dead woman is coming for her. But she still won't tell Liz what she saw. She's still saying that she saw nothing. Liz gets a call from Peter telling her that he sent her a text message of someone he believes is Clark walking around in Annie's jacket. He tells her where he believes this person is at, and that's when Liz and Navaro go down to the trenches. When they get inside, they see this message that says, keep off the grass. Then over there on the wall, there's something that looks like a spider, maybe even an octopus, or even a crab. And I'm thinking it's a crab because we saw crabs many times this season, whether it was in the background on a sign or something. They also find a spiral in there too, and as they're looking at it, someone in there is running. While Navaro is chasing whoever this is, something starts to call for her. That's when she looks down and sees her dead, naked sister in this water. Navaro also finds these footprints on the floor too. Liz ends up catching up to this person who was running and finds out that it was Otis. Liz notices that there's drugs on the floor, and she asks him where did he get that jacket from. But we cut back to Navaro, where she's following music that leads her to this Christmas tree. Then she turns around and finds her dead sister staring at her in her face with her mouth open. Why these dead people always got their mouth open? But her mouth just isn't open. She's screaming too. Then we get back to Liz with Oliver, and he tells her that Clark is gone, that he went to go hide in the night country. Where is that? But then we go back to Liz and Navaro, and Liz finds Navaro in this trance. I don't know what she's looking at, what she's thinking about, if she hear anything, but her ear is bleeding. Why y'all think her ear is bleeding? Is it because she's close to death? It's something weird going on. Where is Oliver? Where is Clark? Where is the night country? Why is her ear bleeding? Let me know all of your theories down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.